Okay, this one is on seeing overlays in people's face, or even yourself. This is, if it echoes, just please watch it on Instagram, the TV app, or YouTube if there's any echo or technical issues. Because I've been having a lot of problems with things muting or files just being corrupt or just random electronic stuff, like having to do it like 5 times. This video is important to specific people. I was led by my guide to do this one, and plus I just had like an emotional issue last night thinking about this stuff. Especially those gifted, targeted, have a purpose, because those are the ones this happens more often to because of who they are and what they can do, which a lot of other people go after them because they want what they have, or they want to use them for what they have, even though the gifts, these people could have them if they just worked on themselves. And then this overlay, people that like worked on their higher consciousness, some people can see this, a lot of psychic people, but you can actually catch this. You've seen it, the overlays, you've seen it and just didn't know what they were. And like what usually catches it is electronics. Like when you take pictures of yourself or somebody else, and you see it all the time, and they call, I guess it's the angle or whatever, you actually see somebody that either looks like you, or the person that's receiving the picture sort of looks like you, but not like you. And you can see it in pictures, very noticeable. Or what else? And the different types of the overlays that can come through are your guides, your ancestors, spirit animals, aspects or versions of you can come through. They can be even like entities, positive or negative, can come through. Different things that can trigger these overlays, certain activities that you do, your mood, what you're thinking, alcohol and drugs, ingested substances, the environment, other people can trigger it. If you do have entities and attachments, your intentions, stress, and you can see it a lot more in certain people that act negative, like narcissists, with emotional disturbances, imbalances. And what it looks like, and I know you've seen it also, not just in pictures, you'll see it in someone, like when they smile or they have a look, the upper part of the face, the eyes don't match the mouth, and it almost gives them a Joker type of look. And it's an overlay of the other energy coming in. And sometimes, like people who've experienced a lot of PTSD, CPSD, flashbacks or trauma, you can see the overlays also come through. And then if you do work on like your higher consciousness, you can actually access other versions of you in different realities, and sometimes they'll bleed through and you can see them come in. And then with the overlays, you can actually access the skills of the other versions of you. And I guess I'll discuss more of that later, but this is for a certain target of people, and I need to fit it in the right amount of time. Let me see. Like, also energy and frequencies, they are actually contagious. And you would consider infectious, the positive or negative energies, as if you're with someone who's positive, they make you feel good. That energy is contagious, along with the attachments that people have, positive or negative. So if they do have like entities or shadow, those energies can get attached to you too. The more you interact, exposed to it, the more it gets transferred, especially through sex, deep communication, sort of like their luck gets transferred to you. If you hang around with someone that has like a lot of drama in their life, all of a sudden you start having drama in your life. And it's the same thing. That frequency, like your energy records it and you carry that in your frequency. Or if they have attachments, you get those attachments too. Let me see. And Avoid things and people that expose you to these energies because of the energy transfer. Negative attachments transfer because many are hard to remove or cleanse from. Like once you get a roach infestation, it is hard to get rid of because like attracts like. Once you get one, it opens the door to allow more to come in easily for an infestation. It can become very serious and spiritually costly, preventing you from getting your gifts because the universe doesn't want the negative around you to have access to your gifts. Once you remove yourself, cleanse yourself, it does take a while for the energy to wear off depending on how strong it was. It usually takes 2 to 3 months for this frequency to like come off of you depending on how long you're exposed. It'll almost feel like you're going through a drug withdrawal and you actually literally like want to be around these people and you don't feel like you. The other way and it can happen the other way around too. Like say if you're very very positive and then you have all these gifts, people that are around you, and that's the same thing I can do, people around you, actually the frequency transfer to them and they'll actually start getting some of these gifts and abilities and the good luck. And it is like a drug. And then some people actually, I call them, it's like mimics. They can actually, because of your frequency, mimic some of the things you do. But once you're away, the mimicry starts wearing off. It's harder for them to carry that energy and that frequency on their own if they haven't done the inner work. And that's usually, I'll get into, well here, also there's certain symptomology that you can feel if say like you've been around someone who does have attachments, and especially if they're like very negative, that there's certain symptomology you'll feel. I'm not giving medical advice. This is just my experience. If you do have something like your left shoulder and your left arm hurting, please go to a doctor. But I had that happening to me, and I had tests done, and there were nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with my heart, had a stress test and everything. My left arm intermittently hurts, and especially if I drink alcohol. And I discovered that that's usually an entity trying to access you, and it has to do something the chakras and the acupressure points, and then your energy field. It's easier to access like almost like your soul through the left shoulder, the left arm. You start having weird random body pains that you can't even explain. You start having gastrointestinal issues, unexplained lethargy, apathy. You'll have mental confusion. Emotions are everywhere. Like 1 minute you're happy, next minute you're angry. You have strange urges you didn't have before. Things that you did like, you don't like anymore. Things will start like irritating you that just randomly didn't. You want to argue with people. You'll have unusual thoughts. You'll have obsessions that you didn't have before. Cravings of certain foods. Some people crave like lots of sugar. You in your life, you'll start having strange events. Things not working out right for no reason. It's just like, oh, it's almost like everything's against you. Miscommunication with people. You'll start arguing with people, or people just automatically start arguing with you. You'll have some crazy dreams. Most of them are like really bad and vivid. Disruptive, a lot of disruptive, unstable, negative people start popping into your life. Unusual chaos, unusual struggles. You'll have new annoyances, and people start acting differently towards you for no reason. And let me see. And there are some people that most people aren't aware of this, about the attachments that they have or the effect that they'll have on people because of this. But there are some people that are aware of this, that are very skilled and actually use these entities on purpose to their advantage. And most of these people do practice magic. It's usually black magic, and magic, it's called black magic because it's the intention of the person if it's negative. Those who are aware of this, that are very skilled, use these energies, entities to harness energy. And that's when you usually hear the phrase of energy vampire. They'll use it in the same way. Um, energies, harness energies from other people, abilities, gifts that the other person has. Or they can use the entities to block the gifts and the abilities and chakras and the beauty of another person. And they can actually use these entities to harness the beauty of another person, which is crazy. They can use them to harness the prosperity, the good luck of another person, or even transfer negative things to someone else. Like they can actually use the entities to give their bad karma to the other person. Just like the transferring the good luck and the bad luck, they can actually do that to decrease their negative karma. They like to interact with groups. These people, they like to have group activities, get-togethers like a stream, conversations, or even sex stuff in a person or online to harness energy from others. They also transfer energy through body fluids, if you get what I mean. And they'll actually do it on purpose. And they call it blood magic too. And they use the entities to have control or influence over the other person, make them fall in love or like them excessively, to trap the person. And the person will even know the other person is bad for them, but for some reason they can't stop thinking about them. So there are people who do this intentionally, but there are those who don't know they're doing this. And you can tell like the energy, the entity, like sometimes you'll be around someone and they're like depressed, and then all of a sudden you're depressed and they're happy. And that's a symptom of it. Like when you get bad luck, but they are getting good luck, like the energy, everything starts switching. They are happy, but you become sad or upset, drained and unstable. Energy transfer that's the typical sign of energy transfer. Pay attention to your environment, watch for signs and red flags. It lets you know who's who when they present to you a mask of being enlightened, loving, helpful to your face. There'll be things when they're actually just very, very negative and insidious underneath. And there's another form of it. They'll actually get people together to gossip about somebody else, and that's also a form of magic. When you get people in a group together to actually talk negatively about someone, that's magic. The intentions, the talking is magic. That's all magic is intentions. And you can do this also as a streamer, and you can see it represented in the magic. They use repetitive behavior, actions, words, and actually it's just a form of a ritual, like a meditation when they repeat things in a stream. And it makes them more susceptible in the meditative like state, and it amplifies the energy so it can be harnessed. And that's why you notice like there are some people who need other people around all the time, and that's what it is. Like all this, I ended up discovering I don't practice any of this. I'm only into prayer, candles. That's the most I do, if anything, that would be magic. I'm only into prayer, candles, and having crystals, interacting with my guides and being positive. My guides had me stay away from these things because people can get caught up unwittingly thinking they are being positive doing these practices when actually out of fear or feeling